Have you ever shared a dream so dear to your heart, only to watch it unravel before your eyes? Have you ever spoken your deepest intentions aloud, only to feel an invisible resistance, as if the very act of revealing them drained them of their power? There is an ancient wisdom, one that the spiritually awakened have always known. Silence is a shield, a sacred container that protects what is still in the process of becoming. When you speak too soon, you expose your vision to forces that may not support it. Doubt, skepticism, envy, or even well-meaning voices that unknowingly plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. But when you keep your dreams guarded in stillness, you give them the space to grow strong, undisturbed by external interference. The Bible reminds us, whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Proverbs 13:3. Your dreams are like fragile seeds planted in the soil. A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to see if it is growing. He trusts the process, knowing that in the right time, the roots will strengthen and the plant will break through the surface. In the same way, the visions God has placed in your heart need protection, not premature exposure. Nehemiah understood this when he set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. He did not announce his plans to the world. He moved in silence, allowing divine guidance to lead him without the interference of doubters or adversaries. And because of this, his mission succeeded against all odds. By their fruits, you will recognize them. Matthew 7:16. True success does not require validation. A tree does not declare its growth. It simply stands tall, bearing fruit in its due season. The greatest victories are not forged in noise, but in quiet obedience, hidden preparation, and unwavering faith. When you embrace this principle, you align with divine timing, allowing God's plan to unfold in its fullness without disruption. Now, I ask you to reflect. What sacred dreams have you been called to protect? Have you ever felt the pull to share your vision too soon, only to be met with discouragement or doubt? This message is for you, the chosen ones who are walking a path of spiritual awakening and divine purpose. You are being called to operate differently, to move with wisdom, to allow your silence to be your strength. And now, as you step forward into this divine role, I invite you to declare your readiness. Type 777 in the comments below as a bold statement that you are ready to embrace this journey, to walk in wisdom, and to trust the unseen forces of heaven working in your favor. Let this be a sacred moment, a declaration that you are aligning with divine purpose, that you are allowing God to shape your path without interference. Are you ready to step into this higher calling? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear next may change the way you walk through life forever. Now, let's begin. There is a sacred wisdom, one that transcends time and speaks to the deepest parts of the soul, the power of silence. For those walking the path of spiritual ascension, those carrying a vision placed upon their hearts by God, silence is not just a choice, but a necessity. Every great calling begins in stillness. Every divine mission unfolds first in secrecy. It is in the quiet spaces where faith is built, where purpose is refined, and where destiny is nurtured before it is revealed to the world. Not everyone around you is prepared to see your vision. Not every soul will celebrate your purpose, and some, consciously or unconsciously, may even become obstacles on your journey. When you share your dreams too soon, you open them up to forces that may not be aligned with their success. Doubt, criticism, skepticism, and even jealousy can act as unseen weights, pulling your aspirations off course before they have the chance to take root. The Bible warns us of this truth in Proverbs 17:27-28. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. This wisdom reminds us that silence is not weakness, it is strength. Silence is a form of spiritual discernment, an act of protection over the sacred dreams that God has entrusted to you. Imagine a gardener planting a rare and precious seed. If he were to expose that seed to harsh weather too soon, it would struggle to grow, its roots too weak to withstand the storms. Instead, the wise gardener tends to it in secret, shielding it from external elements until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Your dreams are the same. They require nurturing, quiet care, and time to develop deep roots before they can withstand the pressures of the outside world. Perhaps this is why so many dreams never come to fruition, because they were spoken too soon, shared too widely, and weakened by the weight of others' opinions. The lesson here is clear. Silence is a sacred container, a divine cocoon where your dreams can safely grow until they are ready to flourish. This is not about fear or secrecy, but about wisdom and divine timing. As Isaiah 30:15 reminds us, "In quietness and in trust shall be your strength." The story of Joseph in the Bible serves as a powerful testament to this truth. Joseph, favored by God, received prophetic dreams about his future greatness. But in his youthful eagerness, he shared these dreams with his brothers, who, consumed by envy, betrayed him, selling him into slavery. What if Joseph had kept those visions in his heart? What if he had guarded them in silence, allowing God's plan to unfold without interference? His journey, though ultimately triumphant, was made more difficult by speaking before the appointed time. And yet, what happened in the end? His dreams still came to pass. Why? Because what God ordains, no human can destroy. But wisdom teaches us that when we keep our visions protected, we allow the universe to align in our favor without unnecessary obstacles. Silence is both a shield for dreams and a stage for achievements. When the time's right, your success will not need an announcement because it will be undeniable. A mighty oak tree does not declare its growth. It simply stands tall, its strength visible to all who witness it. The greatest victories are not declared in noise, but revealed in undeniable results. When you operate in silence, you remove distractions, you evade external pressures, and you stay aligned with the divine path meant only for you. This is why Proverbs 27 tells us, "Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips." The world will recognize your purpose not by your words, but by the undeniable fruits of your labor. When the time comes, those who doubted, those who dismissed your vision, will witness what was always meant to be. There's an undeniable power in silence, a force that moves unseen, yet shapes the very foundation of destiny. Those who are called the chosen ones understand that silence is not emptiness, but a sacred space where purpose is nurtured, where clarity is sharpened, and where divine alignment unfolds without interference. When you choose silence, you are not withholding out of fear. You are creating a powerful sanctuary where your dreams are protected, your energy is preserved, and your spirit remains undisturbed by the noise of the world. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. In a world that constantly demands noise, explanation, and validation, the chosen ones walk a different path, one of quiet confidence, of unwavering faith, and of steadfast trust in divine timing. Not every vision is meant to be spoken too soon, and not every dream should be placed before those who may not understand its purpose. When you keep your plans concealed, you allow a divine unfolding where every step you take is guided, free from the weight of external opinions, doubts, or pressures that could shift your focus. This wisdom is echoed in Ecclesiastes 3:7, which tells us a time to be silent and a time to speak. Knowing when to stay quiet is just as important as knowing when to act. The spiritually awakened understand that silence is not passivity. It is precision, focus, and trust. Imagine the peace that comes when your path is not placed under scrutiny, when your work is allowed to grow in the shadows, untouched by premature expectations. This quiet strength enables true progress, for it keeps you aligned with the divine flow rather than the ever-changing tides of external influence. Consider the story of Jesus before his crucifixion. When he stood before Pilate, falsely accused and surrounded by voices demanding his fate, he did not argue, he did not plead, he did not seek validation from men. He remained silent. But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. Matthew 27:1, for his silence was not weakness, it was power. It was a demonstration that truth does not always need to be spoken, for it is upheld by divine authority. When you are certain of your purpose, you do not need to convince others. You only need to walk in obedience and allow the results to speak for themselves. And this is where many fail. They rush to share their plans, seeking reassurance, approval, or recognition, only to find their vision weighed down by the expectations and doubts of others. Not every soul is meant to see what God has placed in your heart. Not every person will celebrate what has been entrusted to you. Doors do not open through noise, but through the quiet alignment of your steps with divine guidance. When you embrace this path, when you trust the stillness, you will find that your success does not need an announcement. It will be seen its own time, undeniable and unshakable. A tree does not declare its growth. It simply stands tall, and those who pass by recognize its strength. Your journey is the same. There is a force that can silently weaken even the strongest vision, not through direct attack, but through subtle influence. It is the wind of doubt carried in the words of well-meaning people, in the skepticism of those who cannot see what you see, in the opinions of those who unknowingly place burdens on your path. Often, it is not malice that threatens a dream, but excess noise, energy imprints from external sources that cloud clarity and weaken resolve. When words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. Words have power, and when spoken prematurely, they can invite interference, sometimes in the form of unwanted advice, sometimes in the shape of subtle doubt, and sometimes in the weight of expectations that do not belong to you. When a chosen one shares a vision too soon, they risk exposing their purpose to forces that are not aligned with its fulfillment. Imagine you are building a temple, not of stone and mortar, but of faith, purpose, and divine calling. Each brick you lay is intentional, placed with care, forming the foundation of something sacred. But what happens if you allow too many people into the construction site before it is complete? One person questions the design, another suggests changing the foundation. Someone else brings in outside materials that do not belong. Slowly, the original blueprint is lost, scattered among too many voices, too many hands. This is why Matthew 7:6 warns us, do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. Not every plan is meant to be shared with every person. Some will not understand it. Others may try to reshape it into something it was never meant to be. And some, even without intending harm, will introduce distractions that pull you away from the purity of the vision God placed in your heart. In the spiritual realm, silence is not secrecy, it is protection. It is the sacred space where dreams take root without disruption, where purpose is strengthened before it is revealed. By holding on to the sanctity of our intentions, we allow divine forces to work freely without interference. This is not an act of fear, but an act of wisdom, understanding that everything has its time and everything unfolds in divine order. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be silent and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes 3.1.7 Walking in silence does not mean you do not believe in your dream. It does not mean you distrust those around you. Rather, it is an expression of deep self-love and respect for the journey you're on. Keeping your plans close is an act of faith, an acknowledgement that divine timing is at work and that what is meant to be will manifest at the appointed time. Think of an artist working on a masterpiece. Before the final brushstrokes are complete, before the vision is fully formed, the artist does not seek validation. They do not invite an audience to critique an unfinished work. They labor in quiet devotion, refining each detail in private until the moment comes to unveil the creation. Your journey is no different. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4.23 When you guard your heart, you create an environment where clarity flourishes. You allow yourself the freedom to adjust your path without interference, to move forward without the weight of differing opinions clouding your focus. Like a seed planted in fertile ground, your vision needs time to take root, to grow strong, to become resilient before it is exposed to the elements. This sacred silence is an invitation to trust, to surrender, and to allow divine grace to shield and empower your purpose. In the quiet, alignment happens. In stillness, growth takes place. In restraint, strength is cultivated. The sacred strength of silence, there's a profound and often overlooked power in silence. It is not merely the absence of words, but a divine force that preserves wisdom, protects dreams, and aligns the chosen ones with their highest calling. Those who are set apart for a greater purpose soon realize that not everything is meant to be spoken aloud, not every step requires validation, and not every vision should be revealed prematurely. They begin to understand that silence is not just a spiritual discipline. It is a form of divine protection. Throughout history, some of the most powerful transformations, miracles, and breakthroughs happened in the quiet, away from the eyes of the crowd, away from the voices of doubters, away from the noise of the world. Before the greatest movements of God, there was always a period of stillness, a time of unseen preparation. Silence is not stagnation. It is an active and intentional space where faith deepens, clarity sharpens, and divine alignment unfolds without interference. A dear friend of mine once embarked on a personal transformation, one that required immense courage and faith. She felt a calling to leave behind an environment that no longer served her, a life that was comfortable but no longer fulfilling. Initially, person entered your life, she confided exactly in those closest to her. An opportunity arose, encouragement, almost understanding, perfectly instead to be. She was met with resistance. That was not luck. Why would you? That was divine orchestration. Maybe you're overthinking. That was your unseen allies working behind their doubts, though ensuring that you arrived exactly planted hesitation where you're meant to be. In the book of Daniel 10, she second-guessed the vision. We are given an extraordinary glimpse into this. She made a choice to move inside. Daniel had been praying. She stopped seeking permission for a path that was never meant to be understood by everyone. When the angel finally walked away quietly, he said, "Do not be afraid." Without explaining herself, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding, incredible and to humble yourself, she found peace. Your words were heard, and the strength come in response to them. Through without the Prince of Persia resisted me for 21 days. When she finally shared her journey, reveals she was no longer seeking approval. Daniel's prayers were heard. She was testifying to, but there was a spiritual battle happening. Her success needed no validation. There were forces resisting the answer from coming. The Bible echoes this wisdom time and time again. The chosen one consider the story of Moses before his return. Just because they do not see before he stood before Pharaoh does not mean before he led the Israelites to freedom. There are battles being fought in the unseen realm. And 40 years of silence is what sustains 40 years until the victory when no one saw what God was doing. The journey of the chosen one is one of trust. Being prepared, even when his character refined, his faith even tested, when the road ahead, his purpose solidified. They are not called and when to the time came when he finally stepped into his calling, they are called to surrender, no hesitation, no doubt. And when they do, his mission was clear, go because it had been forged in clarity, and instead some of the most significant breakthroughs they find that everything is unfolding even exactly as it should. The chosen ones walk a path. They know that silence physical is not weakness. It is spiritual. It is spiritual, guided by unseen forces. It's the ability to protect wisdom, sacred, orchestrate protection, to allow God to align their steps with divine timing. To nurture their connection with these spiritual forces of human opinion. They must cultivate. They do not rush to explain their process. Stillness. They do not seek validation for something. The world around them is filled with noise. Expectations. They move with quiet confidence, opinions, trusting that what is pressure to pull attention away from the quiet presence. In Luke 2:1, but in the stillness, after Mary gave birth to Jesus, in the Bible tells us that Mary treasured up all these things and pondered. They received the wisdom. Think about that for a moment. Only for them. She did not. It is no coincidence that the greatest spiritual revelation, she did not seek confirmation from those around her. The most profound. She held the miracle in her communication, allowing it to unfold in divine time. Moses received the 10 Commandments, some revelation on Mount Sinai, some blessings. Jesus, some breakthroughs are meant to be held in sacred 40 days until before stepping into. Picture an architect. Elijah heard the voice of God. Not in the grand unveiling, not in the fire, before the first visitor enters its doors. Years
1
of
Kings
quiet labor take
19:1-2.
The foundation is
not
laid in
emptiness.
secret.
The
It is
structure
space
is
where the
built
sacred
without fanfare.
unfolds.
Every
It is within
detail
this
is
quiet
refined
that the
behind the
chosen
scenes.
one
And when the
attunes
time
themselves
comes,
to the divine
when the final
energies
stone is
surrounding
placed,
them, the world
opening their
does
spirit
not
to
question
receive
its
direction,
purpose. Protection
it simply stands in
and
reassurance
awe of what has been
One of the most
created.
powerful
Your journey
ways
is
to
no
strengthen
different.
this connection
When the chosen
is through
one chooses
meditation,
silence,
they're
as
not
an
hiding.
empty practice.
They are allowing
but
the
as an
foundation
intentional
to be
moment
built
of stillness
without
where the chosen
unnecessary
one
disturbance.
becomes receptive
They are
to
protecting
the
their
messages
energies
being sent
from
their
outside
way.
distractions.
A simple ritual,
Preserving their
such as
vision
lighting a
from
candle,
premature exposure
can also serve as
They
an
trust that their
invitation for these
purpose will
energies
reveal
to draw
itself.
near.
A
Not
white
through
candle
loud
represents
declarations,
purity,
but through
peace,
undeniable
and divine
manifestation.
illumination.
Proverbs
The gentle
3,
flicker of the flame
5-6
acts
reminds
as
us,
a beacon.
trust in the
calling
Lord with
forth
all your
divine
heart
guidance
and lean
while
not on
creating
your
a
own
spiritual
understanding.
barrier. In
Against
all your ways,
negativity.
submit to Him.
Some may
and He will
find
make
this
this path
connection
straight.
deepened
The
through
world
prayer,
often
through
pressures
deep
us to
mindful
explain
breathing,
ourselves,
or through
to
the simple
justify
act
our
of
journey,
sitting in nature,
to seek
watching the wind
before
move
taking the
through
next
the
step.
trees.
But the chosen
Listening
ones
to the rhythm of the
understand that
waves,
true freedom
feeling
is
the
found
warmth of the sun
in
on
surrendering
their skin.
to divine
The
timing.
Bible speaks
in
of this
moving
sacred
without the
stillness
need
in
Psalm
Psalm
46 verse
in trusting
10.
that every
Be
step
still
taken in
and know
faith
that I am God
is already being
This verse
aligned
reminds
by
the chosen
force
ones
far
that
greater
power
than
is not
themselves.
always found
Some will
in
not
action,
understand your
but in
silence.
surrender. Some
When
will
they stop
question
striving,
why you have chosen
stop
to move
chasing,
differently.
stop
But what
trying
is
to
meant for
force
you does
outcomes.
not require
They
their
create the
understanding.
space for divine
Your journey is not
alignment
meant to be
take
explained.
over.
It is meant to be
Spiritual
lived.
reverence
Does
and
not
when the
require
time comes,
elaborate rituals.
when the season of quiet
complex
preparation is
ceremonies.
complete,
It is the
your transformation
purity
will
of
not
intention,
need
the
an announcement.
openness of heart.
It will be seen,
and the
the
willingness
most powerful
to listen
presence
that invite
is
divine
often the one
presence.
that speaks.
Reading
the
a
least.
book that
the chosen ones
soul,
do not inspire
journaling
thoughts
loud
that come
proclamations,
deep
or the
reflection,
need for validation,
or simply sitting in
Instead,
quiet contemplation.
they move with
can all
quiet
serve as
certainty,
ways to cultivate,
radiating
and
a strength
strengthen
that is
this
felt
sacred
rather
bond.
than explained.
Many chosen
Their
ones will
unwavering
notice that
trust
divine
in their
protection
path becomes
often
the beacon.
manifests
Not because
in
they
unexpected
demand
ways.
attention.
A
But
stranger
because their
offers
faith
profound
is
advice
unshakable
at just the right
in their
moment.
alignment with
a song
divine
on the radio
purpose
speaks
is undeniable.
directly
In this
to something
stillness,
they were
they
praying
find
about.
freedom.
A sign
Not the
appears
kind that
when they
comes
needed
from
confirmation.
external approval.
These are not
but the
coincidences.
ultimate form of
These are
freedom.
divine nudges,
The peace that comes from
reminders
knowing
being
they're
watched
divinely
over,
guided,
that their journey
protected,
is being
and
carefully
exactly where they
guided.
need to be.
There's an old
It is
story of a
easy
man
to believe
caught in
that
a
walking
flood
alone, praying
means
for God
walking
to save
without
him.
support.
A neighbor came
But the
by in a
truth
truck
is,
and offered
no
him a ride,
chosen
but
one
he declined,
ever walks alone,
saying,
The
God
path
will
may
save
seem
him.
solitary.
The water rose
but they are
higher.
constantly
A boat
accompanied by
passed
unseen
by, offering
allies.
rescue.
Angels,
But he refused again.
ancestors,
God will
and
save
spiritual
me.
guides
Finally,
who walk beside
a
him,
helicopter came,
clearing the way,
urging him to
whispering
climb aboard.
wisdom.
But he
and
declined
shielding
once
them from
more,
forces that
holding
seek
on to his
pull them
faith
off
that
course.
God would intervene.
Their presence
in a
is
miraculous
quiet
way.
but powerful.
Eventually,
subtle,
the waters
yet
overtook
unmistakable.
him,
And he
orchestrating
drowned.
events.
When he reached
opening
heaven,
doors,
he asked God,
and redirecting
"Why did you
steps with
save me?"
divine precision.
And God replied,
"The Bible reminds
I sent
us
you a
of this
truck,
divine
a
guardianship,
boat,
in Psalm
and a helicopter.
91:11.
What more were you
For he
waiting
will
for?
command his angels
This story
concerning you to
serves
guard
as a
you
reminder
in all
that
your
divine
ways.
assistance
This is
does
a
not
promise,
always come the
not
way
a
we
suggestion,
expect,
but
not a
always
possibility.
comes.
But
The
a
chosen
divine
ones must
guarantee.
learn to recognize
Even when the
these
chosen
moments to
one
see
cannot
God's
see
hand
the
in
hands
everyday
that protect them.
encounters.
Even
To
when
trust
the
that they're
road
being
feels
guided
uncertain,
not just in the
they're
grand
never
miraculous
truly
events,
alone.
but in
In
the
small,
moments of doubt,
quiet
when the
interventions
path
as
feels
well.
unclear.
By dedicating
these
time
divine
and
forces
attention
to their
send
spiritual
signs,
practices,
a synchronicity
they pave the
here,
way for
an
intuitive
insight,
nudge there,
resilience,
an unexpected
and a steady
blessing
heart.
at just the
They
right
fortify
time.
their
To
spirit
the
against
untrained eye,
distractions.
these may
keeping their
seem like
energy
coincidences,
aligned
but
with
to
their
the chosen one,
purpose.
they are
They walk
sacred
forward with
confirmations,
confidence,
reassurances
knowing
that they are
never
being
alone,
divinely led,
never abandoned.
The key is awareness.
Never without the guidance
The more
they
they
need.
cultivate
A
stillness
chosen one
through prayer,
never walks alone.
meditation,
Even when the
and
journey
intentional
feels
quiet,
solitary,
the more clearly
times,
they hear
they
these
may
whispers
feel
of
as though they are
guidance.
walking through
The
an
chosen
unseen
ones of today
battlefield
walk with the
surrounded by
same
doubts,
invisible shield.
trials,
Though their
and
journey may
obstacles that
not
test
be
their
through the
spirit.
physical
But those who are
wilderness,
attuned,
they
will
navigate the
recognize the
unseen
presence of
battles
something
of greater,
a
fear,
divine
and
force
spiritual
working behind the
resistance.
scenes.
And yet,
Orchestrating
even when
events,
they are weary,
protecting their steps,
they are strengthened
and ensuring
because
that
they're being
every
carried
challenge
by
leads them
forces that have been
closer to
assigned
their
to
higher
them
calling.
since the beginning
When
of
the
time.
chosen one
Many
learns
people
to be
mistake
mindful of
divine
these
silence
divine
for
interventions.
absence.
They
But
begin to
silence
understand
is
that their
not
path is
abandonment.
guided.
Is the
Their
space
struggles
where
are
faith
not in vain.
is tested and
every
strengthened.
difficulty
Just
they
as a
endure
seed
serves a
grows
purpose
in the
far
darkness
greater
of the
than
soil
they can
before it
comprehend
ever
ever
breaks
breaks the surface. This awareness
So
becomes
too
their
does the
strength.
chosen one evolve
filling
before
them
their
with a deep
transformation
sense of
is
confidence,
fully visible
and
to the
peace
world.
empowering
There is
them
purpose
to
in the
continue
quiet,
forward with
purpose in the
certainty,
waiting, knowing they are
purpose in
divinely
the
protected
unseen
every step of the
preparation.
way.
Consider
The
a
Bible
moment in your
reminds
own
us of
life
this
when
when
things
unseen
seemed
protection in
uncertain,
Psalm 30
when answers were not
verse 7.
immediate.
Yet
Somehow
somehow
the Lord
doors
encamps
opened at just the
around
right
those
time.
who fear him. and he delivers them. This verse reassures the chosen one that they are not only walking in their own strength, but are constantly surrounded by a sacred shield of divine guardianship. Their faith does not rest solely on what is visible, but on the unseen forces that stand guard over their destiny, ensuring that no weapon formed against them will prevail. But how does one deepen confided in those closest to this divine protection, expecting encouragement, trust, and awareness, and spiritual discipline? She was met with the more resistance. A chosen one acknowledges. Why would you leave what's stable? Those maybe you're overthinking it. The unexpected things don't work at the right time. Their doubts, the moments of clarity, unintended chaos, the planted hesitation. They build a foundation. She delayed her decision. That equips them to second guess the vision that once felt with every recognition of divine guidance. She made a choice. They strengthened their bond with their purpose. She stopped seeking permission for unwavering that was never meant to be understood, guided, but divinely. She walked away. There's a common struggle among those who are on a path without explaining her spiritual elevation. And in that stillness, something are the trials meant to stop me? She found, or are they tests to refine clarity? It is easy to misinterpret struggles without the signs of others' expectations. But what if they are actually indicators? When she finally shared her journey, the Bible was no longer seeking approval. Romans 5, she was testifying to what had already been. We also glory in her success because we know that suffering produces. It spoke for itself. The Bible echoes this wisdom time again. Hope. Consider the trials faced by the chosen ones are not roadblocks. Before he stood before Pharaoh, there the fire led the Israelites to freedom, shaping them. Moses spent 40 years strong enough to carry the 40 years of silence placed upon their lives. 40 years. A tree does not grow strong in calm weather, but in that quiet develops deep. He was being prepared through storms. His character refined, winds that threatened to tear tested. The chosen one too solidified. Then when the time came when he finally stepped into his calling, tempests, there was no every hardship they withstand. Deep in his mission was clear because it anchoring them to the earth with wisdom. Some of the most significant breakthroughs in life, for example, happened before the world. His story is one of the greatest testimonies. The chosen ones understand this. In the face, they know that silence is not weakness. He lost his wealth, his spiritual strategy, his family, ability to protect what gave him stability. To allow God to work without he refused to turn away from God. To nurture a vision before it is exposed. His wife told him to give up. They do not rush to explain their process, and they do not seek validation. Not only was he restored, that has not yet, but he was blessed with twice as much as he had before. They move with his story reminds the chosen ones trusting that what is meant to be is without purpose and divine time, and no trial in Luke is without 2.19. So when hardships Mary gave birth to Jesus, when external voices, the Bible tells us that Mary treasured up all these things overwhelming, pondered them in her heart. The chosen one. Think about that for a moment. She did not run to announce what had happened, or allow she did not seek confirmation from those around her. Instead, she held the miracle in her heart, knowing that allowing it to unfold is a tool of divine timing. They understand that even criticism, some revelations, though painful, some blessings, is often some breakthroughs are meant to be held in sacred silence, patience, and wisdom. Picture an architect 12 designing tells a great cathedral. Whoever loves before the grand unveiling, before the first visitor enters its doors, instead of resisting the pressures, they lean the foundation learning laid in secret, growing from the structure. They become like the tree that bends with the wind. Every detail is not refined behind that absorbs the rain, and when the time comes to grow tall, when the final stone every storm they face, the world does not question its purpose. But resilience, it simply stands only found of what has been created. Is also nurtured by the presence when the chosen one chooses silence. Just as trees thrive when they are allowing the foundation to be built without the chosen one benefits from a community of they are protecting their energy, those who support their distractions, who preserving their vision when they are weary, premature exposure, who remind them of their purpose. They trust that their purpose will reveal itself. It is written in Ecclesiastes 4 verses, but through undeniable manifestation. 2 are better than Proverbs 1 because they have a good return. 5 to 6 reminds us if either of them trust in the Lord with all your heart, help the other up, and lean not on your own understanding. Maybe in all your ways submit to him. But when surrounded by others who share their vision, the world often pressures us to explain ourselves. Having the right to justify our journey is not just to seek approval before taking the next step. True allies, but the chosen ones understand that true freedom is found. They offer strength in times of struggle. Wisdom in moving without the need for validation, and encouragement when in trusting that every step taken. That is why the chosen ones is already being aligned by about who they allow into their inner circle. Some will not understand silence and surrounding questions with those who have chosen to move different, inspire. But what is meant for you does not require and ensures that their path. Your journey is not meant to be purpose remains protected. It is meant to be lived. Proverbs 27 when the time comes 17 when the season of quiet preparation iron sharpens iron. Your transformation one person sharpens another. The chosen one does
the most
not
powerful
seek
presence
validation from the
is
world.
often the one
They seek
that speaks
alignment
the least.
with their highest
The
calling.
chosen ones
They
do
understand
not
that
inspire
resilience
through
is
loud
not just
proclamations
about
or
enduring
need
hardship.
for validation.
It is about transforming them.
They move
into
with
wisdom,
quiet certainty,
strength,
radiating
divine
a strength
power.
that is
They
felt
do not
rather
crumble
than
under
explained.
pressure.
Their
They rise.
unwavering trust
They do not
in
let
their
trials
path becomes a
define them.
beacon.
They let
Not
trials
because they demand
refine them.
attention.
The journey
but
of the
because their
chosen
faith
one
is
is
not just about
unshakable
external
in their
accomplishments,
alignment with divine
or
purpose
worldly
is
recognition.
undeniable.
It is a path
In this
of
stillness,
deep
they find
spiritual
freedom.
transformation,
Not the kind that
resilience,
comes from
and
external
alignment
approval,
with divine
but
purpose.
the ultimate form
This
of
sacred
freedom.
journey
The
requires
peace that comes
nurturing,
from knowing they're
protection,
divinely guided,
and intentional
protected,
self-care,
and
as
exactly
the soul
where they
needs
need to be.
as much
It is
nourishment
easy to
as the
believe that
body.
walking alone
The chosen one
means
understands
walking
that
without
true
support.
strength
But the
does
truth
not come
is
from constant
no
striving,
chosen one
but from the
ever
ability
walks
to
alone.
remain
The
centered,
path may seem
grounded,
solitary
and
but
spiritually
they are constantly
aligned,
accompanied
no
by
matter when
unseen
storms arise.
allies.
Self-care
Angels,
is not
ancestors,
indulgence,
and spiritual
it is a
guide
daily
to walk
act of
beside them,
devotion,
a
clearing the
commitment
way,
to maintaining
whispering
inner peace,
wisdom, clarity,
and shielding
and
them from
resilience.
forces that seek
Just as a
to pull them off
warrior
course.
sharpens their sword
presence
before
is
battle,
quiet but
the chosen
powerful,
one strengthens
subtle,
their
yet
spirit
unmistakable,
through mindful practices
orchestrating
that restore
events,
their energy,
opening doors,
and deepen their connection
and
with
redirecting
God.
steps
These
with divine
practices may
precision.
be
The
as
Bible
simple
reminds
as
us of this
nourishing the
divine
body
guardianship
with
in
wholesome
Psalm
foods,
91:11.
engaging in
For he will
reflective
command his
meditation,
angels
or filling the
concerning you
mind
to
with
guard you
wisdom
in
that
all your
uplifts
ways.
and strengthens
This is
the
a
soul.
promise.
The chosen
not a
one
suggestion,
follows
not
this
a possibility,
wisdom, creating
but a divine
intentional
guarantee.
space for silence,
Even when the chosen
prayer,
one cannot
and
see
spiritual
the
renewal.
hands that protect
They
them.
understand that
Even when the
self-care is
road
not
feels
just about
uncertain,
physical
they
well-being.
are never
It
truly
is about
alone.
maintaining
In
a
moments
high
of
spiritual
doubt,
vibration,
when the path feels
safeguarding their
unclear,
energy from distractions,
these divine forces
and staying fully
send
aligned with
signs,
their purpose.
a synchronicity
Every
here,
mindful
an
practice,
intuitive nudge
no matter
there,
how
an
small,
unexpected
acts
blessing
as
at
a
just the
spiritual
right time.
cleanse to the
filtering out
untrained
lower
eye.
energies that
These may
seek
seem
to
like
disturb their
coincidences,
peace.
but to the chosen
The Bible
one,
reminds us
they are
in
sacred
Isaiah
confirmations,
40 verse 31.
reassurances that they are
But those
being
who wait on the
divinely
Lord
led.
shall renew
The
their
key
strength.
is awareness.
They shall mount
the
up
more
with
they
wings
cultivate
like
stillness
eagles.
through
They
prayer,
shall run
meditation,
and not be weary,
and intentional
they shall walk
quiet,
and
the more
not faint.
clearly they hear
This verse
these
speaks to the
whispers
power
of
of
guidance.
pausing.
The chosen ones of
realigning,
today
and
walk
trusting
with the
in
same
divine
invisible
timing.
shield.
True strength
Though their journey
is
may
not
not
found
be
in constant
through the
action,
physical wilderness,
but in knowing when to
they
rest
navigate
in
the
God's
unseen
presence,
battles,
allowing
of doubt,
Him to renew
fear,
the spirit
and spiritual
and replenish
resistance.
the soul.
And
For
yet,
the chosen one,
even when they are
growth
weary,
is not about
they are
sudden
strengthened
leaps,
because
but
they're
about
being
the quiet
carried by
power
forces
of
that have been
consistent,
assigned to them
intentional
since the beginning
steps.
of time. Small
Many people
daily
mistake
acts
divine
expressing
silence
gratitude
for absence,
upon waking,
but silence
seeking
is
wisdom
not
from a
abandonment.
mentor,
Is the
engaging
space
in
where
deep
faith
reflection
is
before making
tested and
decisions
strengthened.
are the bricks
Just
that
as a
build an
seed
unshakable
grows in the
foundation
darkness of the soil
resilience
before it ever
and
breaks
faith.
the surface.
Just as a mighty
so too
oak
does the
tree
chosen
does
one evolve
not
before
grow
their transformation,
overnight,
but
is
slowly
fully visible
strengthens
to
its
the
roots
world.
over time.
There is purpose
The
in the
chosen
quiet,
one's spiritual
purpose in the
progress
waiting,
unfolds
purpose in
gradually.
the unseen,
Each small
preparation.
effort bringing them
Consider a
closer
moment
to
in your
divine
own life when
elevation.
things
In a
seemed
world that
uncertain,
glorifies speed,
when answers were not
success,
immediate,
and
yet somehow
external
doors
achievement.
opened.
The
at just the
chosen
right
one
time.
finds their power in steadiness, patience, and faith. They understand that consistency and clarity of intention are the cornerstones of their journey. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to their transformation, bringing them ever closer to their divine mission. Spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, fasting, and moments of deep introspection become their anchors in times of uncertainty. These rituals open the heart to divine messages, guidance, and inspiration that illuminate their way, providing clarity and strength, especially when the journey feels challenging. When the
Initially,
chosen one
she
nurtures
confided
this
in those
connection
closest
daily,
to her,
they no longer
expecting
feel
encouragement
lost
and
or
understanding.
overwhelmed.
Instead,
For they walk in the quiet
she was met with
confidence that they are
resistance.
always being
Why would you
led.
leave what's stable?
With faithful
Maybe you're
allies,
overthinking.
sacred
What
self-care,
if things don't work out?
and an unwavering
doubts,
belief
though
in divine
unintended,
timing. The
planted
chosen one
hesitation in her
becomes
heart.
unshaken.
She delayed her
They
decision.
recognize
She
that their
second-guessed the
journey is a
vision
sacred,
that once felt
unfolding,
so clear.
not something
Then,
to be rushed.
she made
or
a choice to
forced,
move in silence,
but something to be
She
trusted.
stopped seeking permission
nurtured,
for a path
and honored.
that was never
Each
meant to
day,
be understood
They
by
draw
everyone.
closer to their
She
true
walked away
essence,
quietly,
becoming a
without
living
making an
vessel of
announcement,
divine love.
without explaining
Wisdom,
herself.
and
And
light.
in that stillness,
the chosen one
something
comes to
incredible
understand
happened.
that
She
personal
found
growth
peace,
is not a final
clarity,
destination,
and the strength
but a
to
sacred
follow
and
through
continuous
without the
journey.
weight
It is
of
not about
others'
reaching a
expectations.
singular moment of
When she
enlightenment,
finally shared
but
her
rather
journey,
about
she was
deepening
no longer
one's
seeking
connection
approval.
with divine
She was
purpose
testifying
with each passing
to what had
day.
already been
There is no
accomplished.
finish line.
Her
to
success
spiritual
needed
evolution,
no
only
validation.
endless opportunities.
It spoke for itself.
To align
The
more
Bible
fully
echoes
with the
this
truth
wisdom time
of who they were
and time
created to be.
Consider the
As
story
they
of
walked
Moses
his path,
before his return to
the chosen
Egypt.
one may
Before he
pause
stood
and
before
ask
Pharaoh,
themselves,
before
how
he
can I
led the
honor this
Israelites
journey
to
today?
freedom, what
Moses
intentions
spent
can I
40
set
years
to
in the
strengthen
wilderness.
my faith
40 years
and
of
connection
silence.
with the divine?
40
These
years
simple,
when no one
yet
saw what God was
profound
doing.
questions
But in
become
that
the
quiet
guiding
season,
compass for
he
their
was
daily
being
existence.
prepared.
His
Reminding
character
them that
refined,
each moment
his faith
holds the power
tested,
to bring
his
them
purpose
closer to their
solidified.
highest self.
And when the
The
time
beauty
came
of
when he
spiritual
finally
growth
stepped into his
lies
calling,
not in
there is
grand
no
gestures,
hesitation,
but in the
no
quiet
doubt.
consistency.
His mission
of
was
small,
clear because it had been
intentional
forged
acts.
in the silence.
Each prayer whispered
Some of the most
in solitude.
significant breakthroughs
Each decision
in life
made with
happened
integrity.
before the world.
Each
even
moment of
knows they
stillness
exist.
honored in the presence
The chosen
of God.
ones understand
These
this.
become the building
They know
blocks
that
of a
silence
life
is
aligned
not
with
weakness.
divine purpose.
It is spiritual
The Bible
strategy.
reminds us
It's
in
the ability
Galatians
to
6,
protect
verse
what is
9.
sacred. Let us
To
not
allow
grow
God
weary
to
in
work
doing
without
good.
interference.
For at the proper time,
To nurture
we
a
will
vision
reap a
before it
harvest
is
if we do
exposed to
not
the weight
give up.
of human opinion.
This verse
They
speaks
do not
to the
rush to
importance
explain
of
their
steady
process.
faithfulness.
They do
the
not
patience
seek
to keep
validation for
sowing
something that
seeds
has
of
not
wisdom,
yet fully
discipline,
taken form.
and devotion.
Instead,
Even
they
when
move with
immediate
quiet
results
confidence,
are not visible,
trusting that what
just
is
as a
meant to
farmer
be will
does not
unfold
see the
in
fruits of
divine
his
timing.
labor overnight.
In Luke,
The chosen one
2:19
understands that
after
each
Mary
mindful
gave
choice
birth to Jesus,
is planting
the
something
Bible tells us
powerful
that
for the
Mary
future.
treasured up
as they
all these
proceed
things
calmly
and pondered
and
them in her
patiently.
heart. Think about that for a
Anchored in the
moment.
wisdom they have
She did
gained,
not run to
they come to
announce what
realize
had
that
happened.
every step
She did
they
not
take
seek confirmation
is
from
divinely
those around
guided
her.
and protected.
She held the miracle
even when they
in her
cannot
heart,
see the
allowing
full
it to
picture,
unfold in
even when
divine timing.
uncertainty
There's
clouds
a
their
lesson
vision.
here. They know
Some
that
revelations,
unseen forces
some
are
blessings,
working in their
some
favor,
breakthroughs are
orchestrating their
meant to be
path
held
with
in
precision
sacred
and
silence
grace.
until their appointed
Throughout
time.
this journey,
Picture an
they have
architect
learned
designing
profound
a great
truths.
cathedral.
The importance
Before the
of
grand
keeping sacred
unveiling,
dreams
before the
protected,
first visitor
the wisdom
enters
of
its
silence,
doors,
the
years
necessity of
quiet
surrounding
labor take
themselves
place.
with the right people.
The foundation
These are not
is
just
laid in
lessons for
secret.
today.
The structure
principles
is
to
built
build a life
without
upon.
fanfare.
And so,
every
the
detail
chosen
is
one
refined
reflects
behind the scenes.
How can I
And when the
integrate
time
these
comes,
lessons into
when
my
the final
daily
stone is
existence?
placed,
What small
the world
but meaningful
does not
shifts
question
can I
its
make to
purpose.
protect my peace?
It simply stands
to stay
in
connected
awe
to my
of what has been
purpose,
created.
to remain
Your
in
journey is
alignment
no
despite
different.
the
When the
noise of
chosen
the world.
one chooses
Each
silence,
choice,
they are
no
not
matter
hiding.
how subtle,
They are allowing the
creates
foundation
ripples
to
of
be built
transformation
without
decision
unnecessary
to wake up with
disturbance.
gratitude.
They are protecting
the
their
act of
energy
choosing
from
faith
outside
over
distractions,
fear,
the discipline
preserving
to
their
step
vision
away
from
from
premature
distractions
exposure,
and into
they
moments
trust that
of
their
divine
purpose
communion.
will reveal itself.
These are the choices that
not
shape
through
a soul,
loud declarations,
that weave together a
but
life
through
of
undeniable
purpose,
manifestation.
clarity, and
Proverbs
spiritual
3,
elevation.
5
The
to 6
Bible
reminds
reassures
us
us in
trust in the
Jeremiah
Lord with
29,
all your
verse
heart
11,
and lean
for
not
I
on
know
your
the
own
plans I have for
understanding.
you. In all your
Declares
ways
the Lord.
submit to him,
Plans to
and he will make
prosper
your
you
paths
and not to
straight.
harm you.
The world
Plans to give
often
you
pressures
hope
us
and
to
a future.
explain ourselves.
Trusting in
to
this
justify
promise
our journey,
allows the chosen
to seek
one to
approval
release the
before
need
taking
for
the next
control.
step.
To
But the
walk in
chosen
faith
ones understand
and to
that
surrender
true freedom
fully
is
to divine
found
timing.
in surrendering
As they
to
cultivate
divine
patience
timing. in
and
moving
intention,
without the need
they're
for
preparing
validation.
themselves for
in
doors
trusting
that
that
have yet
every
to
step
open
taken in
for
faith
blessings that are
is
already being
aligned
by
by
a
a force
force
far
They
greater
understand
than
that
themselves.
faith is
Some
not
will
just
not
believing
understand
in your
what is
silence,
seen,
but
some will
trusting
question
in what
why
is
you
yet
have
to
chosen
come.
to move differently.
And so,
But
they
what is
move
meant for you
forward
does
not
not
with
require their
hesitation,
understanding,
but with
your
confidence,
journey is
knowing
not
that
meant
everything
to be
is
explained.
unfolding
It is meant to be
exactly
lived.
as it should.
And when the time
journey of the
comes,
chosen
when the
one
season
is
of
not
quiet
about
preparation
rushing
is
toward a
complete,
final destination,
your transformation
but about
will not
embracing
need an
the
announcement.
process.
It will
of
be
becoming.
seen.
The
Every
most
lesson,
powerful presence
every
is
challenge,
often the one that
every
speaks
moment
the
of
least.
silence and
The chosen
reflection
ones do
serves
not
a
inspire
purpose
guiding,
through loud proclamations
strengthening,
or the
and
need for
refining the
validation.
soul.
As you
Instead, continue on your path.
They move with quiet
walk
certain
with
faith,
radiating a
move with
strength
intention
that is felt
and
rather
trust
than
in the
explained.
unseen forces
Their
that are
unwavering
aligning
trust
everything
in their
for your
path
highest
becomes
good.
a beacon.
Remember
Not
that your
because they
dreams
demand
are
attention,
safe and sacred,
but because their faith
your growth
is unshakable
unfolding,
and their alignment
your purpose
with divine
is
purpose
already written.
is undeniable.
May you remain
In
steadfast,
this stillness, they
resilient,
find freedom,
and deeply
not the kind that
connected to
comes
the
from
divine
external
wisdom
approval,
that is always
but the
within
ultimate
and
form of
around you.
freedom.
And when
the peace
doubt
that comes
creeps
from
in,
knowing they're
may you
divinely
find
guided,
peace in knowing that you are
protected,
exactly
and
where you were meant
exactly
to
where
be.
they need to be.
Beloved child
It is
of
easy
God,
to believe
take
that
a
walking
deep breath
alone
and
means
settle
walking
into this
without
moment
support.
of sacred
But the truth
connection.
is,
Wherever you
no
are,
chosen
know
one
that this is
ever
holy
walks
ground.
alone.
This
The path
time
may
is
seem
set apart,
solitary,
not for the
but
worries
they are
of the world,
constantly
but
accompanied
for
by
intimacy
unseen
with the
allies.
divine.
This is a
angels,
time to align your
ancestors,
spirit
and spiritual
to receive
guide to
divine
walk
wisdom,
beside them,
and to embrace
clearing
the
way,
path God has
whispering
set
wisdom.
before you. As we
shielding
enter this
them from
time of
forces
prayer,
that seek
let us
to pull them
open
off
our
course.
hearts to the presence.
Their presence
of
is
the
quiet
Almighty.
but powerful.
May this be a moment
subtle
of
yet
renewal,
unmistakable
restoration,
orchestrating
and
events,
revelation.
opening
If you feel
doors,
led, close
and
your
redirecting
eyes,
steps,
lift
with
your
divine
hands,
precision.
and join
The
me
Bible
in this
reminds
sacred
us of this
prayer.
divine
Heavenly
guardianship
Father,
in Psalm
Almighty God,
91:11.
I come before you
For he will
today
command
with
his
an open
angels
heart,
concerning you to
surrendering
guard you
all that
in
I
all your
am
ways.
into your hands.
This is a promise.
You are my source,
not
my
a
protector,
suggestion,
my guide.
not a
You have
possibility,
written my
but a
purpose
divine
before I took my
guarantee.
first breath.
Even when the chosen
And today,
one cannot
I ask
see
you
the
to lead
hands
me
that protect
deeper
them,
into your divine
even when the
plan.
road feels
Father,
uncertain.
I thank you for
They're
the sacred
never
journey that
truly
you have
alone.
set before
In
me.
moments of
I
doubt,
acknowledge that
when the
my
path
growth
feels
is not a
unclear,
destination.
These
but a
divine
process
forces
of becoming more
send
like
signs,
you each day.
a synchronicity
Help me to
here,
walk in
an
patience,
intuitive nudge there,
knowing that
an
every step I take
blessing
is
at just the
divinely
right time.
ordered by your wisdom.
To the untrained
Lord,
eye,
your word
these
says
may
in
seem like
Proverbs 3
coincidences,
verses
but to the
5
chosen
to
1,
6,
they are
trust in the
sacred
Lord with all your
confirmations
heart
and
reassurances
lean not on your
that they are
own
being
understanding.
divinely led.
In all your
The
ways,
key
submit
is
to
awareness.
Him.
The
And He
more
will
they
make your
cultivate
paths
stillness
straight.
through prayer,
Father, meditation,
surrender my
and
need
intentional
for control.
quiet. I
The more
release
clearly they
anxiety
hear
that
these
comes from
whispers
trying to
of
figure out my
guidance.
future.
The chosen ones of
Instead,
today walk
I place
with the
my
same
trust in you,
invisible shield,
knowing that you are
though their
already
journey
working
may
behind the
not be
scenes to
through
align
the physical
every
wilderness.
detail for my
They
good.
navigate the
Lord,
unseen
teach me
battles
the power
doubt,
of silence,
fear.
Let me
and
guard the
spiritual
dreams you have
resistance.
placed in my
And
heart.
yet,
Even when
nurturing
they are
them in
weary,
faith
they
away
are
from
strengthened
doubt
because
and
they're being
distraction.
carried
Your
by
word
forces
reminds
that have
me
been
in
assigned to them
Ecclesiastes
since the beginning
3
of time.
verse 1.
Many
that
people mistake
there's a time
divine
for
silence
everything,
for absence,
and a
but
season
silence
for every
is not
activity
abandonment
under the heavens.
It is the space
Help
where
me to
faith
recognize
is
when to
tested and
speak,
strengthened, and when
just
to
as
remain
a seed
still,
grows in
when
the
to
darkness
share,
of the soil
and
before
when
it
to
ever
protect,
breaks the surface.
when to step forward,
So
and when
too
to wait
does
on
the
you.
chosen one evolve
Father,
before their
I
transformation.
thank you for the divine
is fully
protection
visible
that
to the
surrounds
world.
me.
Your
There is
word in
purpose in
Psalm
the quiet,
91
purpose in
verse
the waiting
11 says,
purpose
for
in
he
the
will
unseen
command his angels
preparation.
concerning
Consider
you to
a
guard
moment
you
in your
in
own
all
life
your
when
ways.
things seemed
Lord,
uncertain.
I declare that I am
when
never
answers
alone.
were not immediate,
Even when the path
yet
seems
somehow
lonely,
doors open,
even
at
when the
just right
journey
time.
is difficult. I know that your angels are encamped around me, guiding my steps and shielding me from harm. Lord, help me to cultivate the resilience of a tree planted by the waters. When storms arise, may I not be shaken. When trials come, may I stand firm in faith. Let me embrace the wisdom of James 1 verses 2 to 4, which reminds me to consider it pure joy when I face trials of many kinds, because the testing of my faith produces perseverance. Lord, let every challenge refine me. Let every setback strengthen me. Let every delay prepare me for the greater glory that you have in store. Initially,
align
she
my heart
confided
with the
in
right
those
people.
closest to her,
Surround me
expecting
with those who will
encouragement
sharpen
and
me,
understanding,
who will
Instead,
uplift me.
she was met
who will
with
challenge
resistance.
me to grow in
Why
you.
would you leave what's stable?
Proverbs 27
Maybe you're
verse
overthinking
17
where things
says,
don't work out.
As iron
Their
sharpens
doubts,
iron,
though unintended,
so one person
planted
sharpens
hesitation
another.
in her heart.
Lord,
She
remove
delayed
from
her
my
decision.
life anyone
She
who was
second-guessed
not
the
meant to
vision
walk this journey
that once
with me.
felt so
Let my
clear.
relationships
Then,
be filled with
she made
wisdom,
a choice to move in
love,
silence.
and purpose.
She stopped seeking
Heavenly
permission for a
Father,
path.
help
that
me
was
to
never
remain in the
meant to be
present
understood
moment,
by
not
everyone.
consumed by
She
the
walked
past,
away quietly
nor anxious
without
about
making
the
an
future.
announcement.
Your word
Without
in
explaining
Isaiah
herself.
26
And
verse
in that
3
stillness,
declares,
something
you will keep in
incredible
perfect
happened.
peace
She
those whose
found
minds
peace,
are steadfast,
clarity,
because they trust
and the
in you.
strength to
Lord,
follow
I
through
choose
without
peace
the
over
weight
fear,
of others'
faith over
expectations.
doubts.
When she
Purpose over
finally
distraction.
shared her journey,
I choose you.
She was no
Lord,
longer seeking
I lift up my
approval.
dreams before
She was
you.
testifying
You are the
to
giver
what
of
had
vision,
already been
the
accomplished.
author of destiny.
Her success
the
needed
architect
no
of my life.
validation.
I will
spoke
not
for itself.
rush ahead of your
The
time.
Bible echoes
and I will not
this
shrink
wisdom
back
time
in fear.
and time again.
I will
Consider
wait
the story
on you,
of Moses before
trusting
his
that
return
every
to Egypt.
delay is for
Before
my
he stood
preparation.
before Pharaoh,
Every closed
before he
door
led the
is for my
Israelites to
protection.
freedom,
and every
Moses spent
breakthrough
40
will come in
years in
divine
the
alignment.
wilderness. As I
40
walk
years
this
of silence,
sacred path,
40 years
let me never
where
forget
no one saw
that my
what God was
purpose is
doing.
not just
But in
about
that
my
quiet
own
season,
success,
he
but
was
about
being
bringing
prepared.
glory to
His
your name.
character refined,
Let my life
his faith
be a
tested,
testimony of
his
your goodness.
purpose solidified.
Let my actions reflect
And when the
your
time
love.
came when he
Let my
finally
heart
stepped
remain
into his calling,
humble,
there
always
was no
seeking your
hesitation,
will, no
above
doubt.
my own.
His mission
Thank
was
you,
clear,
Father,
because it had been
for hearing
forged
this prayer.
in silence.
I know that you are
some of the
moving,
most significant even in ways I cannot see. I trust in your perfect timing, knows they and I will continue forward. The chosen ones understand this, knowing they know guided, silence, protected, not weakness, deeply loved by you. It is spiritual strategy. I seal this prayer in the ability to protect what is sacred, to allow
Amen.
God to
Beloved,
work without interference.
as you have prayed these
to
words,
nurture a vision before
know that
it is
something is
exposed to the
shifting
weight of
in the
human
spiritual
opinion.
realm.
They do not
You are
rush
stepping
to explain
into
the process.
greater clarity,
They do not
deeper
seek
peace,
validation for
and
something
divine
that has
alignment.
not yet
God
fully
is
taken
working in
form.
ways
Instead,
beyond your
they
understanding.
move with quiet
Trust
confidence,
in the unfolding
trusting
of
that
his
what
plan.
is meant to
As
be
you
will
move
unfold
forward,
in divine
carry these
timing.
words
in
your
Luke
heart.
2:19,
Remain steadfast in
after
faith.
Mary gave birth
Honor
to
the
Jesus.
sacredness
The
of your
Bible
journey,
tells us
and
that
trust
Mary
in
treasured
divine
up all
timing.
these things.
If this
and
prayer
pondered
has
them in her
spoken
heart.
to your spirit,
Think about that.
I
for a
invite
moment.
you to declare your
She did not
agreement
run
by
to announce
typing
what had happened.
Amen.
She
in
did
the
not
comments
seek
below.
confirmation from
Let this
those
be a
around
sign
her.
of your faith.
She held
a
the miracle
declaration
in
that
her
you are
heart,
ready to step
allowing it
into
to
all that
unfold
God
in
has for you.
divine timing.
If this message
There's a
has
lesson
blessed
here.
you, some
Please show your
revelations,
support by
some
liking this
blessings,
video,
some breakthroughs
subscribing
are
to the
meant
channel,
to be held in
and turning on
sacred
notifications
silence
to stay
until their
connected
appointed
on
time.
this journey.
Picture
of
an
spiritual
architect
growth.
designing
May
a
divine
great
wisdom,
cathedral,
peace
before the
and
grand
favor go with
unveiling,
you always.
before the first
Stay
visitor
blessed
enters its
and
doors,
continue walking in faith.
years of quiet labor take place. The foundation is laid in secret. The structure is built without fanfare. Every detail is refined behind the scenes. And when the time comes, when the final stone is placed, the world does not question its purpose. It simply stands in awe of what has been created. Your journey is no different. When the chosen one chooses silence, they are not hiding. They are allowing the foundation to be built without unnecessary disturbance. They are protecting their energy from outside distractions, preserving their vision from premature exposure. They trust that their purpose will reveal itself, not through loud declarations, but through undeniable manifestation. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. The world often pressures us to explain ourselves, to justify our journey, to seek approval before taking the next step. But the chosen ones understand that true freedom is found in surrendering to divine timing, in moving without the need for validation, in trusting that every step taken in faith is already being aligned by a force far greater than themselves. Some will not understand your silence. Some will question why you have chosen to move differently. But what is meant for you does not require their understanding. Your journey is not meant to be explained. It is meant to be lived. And when the time comes, when the season of quiet preparation is complete, your transformation will not need an announcement. It will be seen. The most powerful presence is often the one that speaks the least. The chosen ones do not inspire through loud proclamations or the need for validation. Instead, they move with quiet certainty, radiating a strength that is felt rather than explained. Their unwavering trust in their path becomes a beacon, not because they demand attention, but because their faith is unshakable and their alignment with divine purpose is undeniable. In this stillness, they find freedom, not the kind that comes from external approval, but the ultimate form of freedom. The peace that comes from knowing they're divinely guided, protected, and exactly where they need to be. It is easy to believe that walking alone means walking without support. But the truth is, no chosen one ever walks alone. The path may seem solitary, but they are constantly accompanied by unseen allies, angels, ancestors, and spiritual guides who walk beside them, clearing the way, whispering wisdom, and shielding them from forces that seek to pull them off course. Their presence is quiet but powerful, subtle yet unmistakable, orchestrating events, opening doors, and redirecting steps with divine precision. The Bible reminds us of this divine guardianship in Psalm 91:11. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. This is a promise, not a suggestion, not a possibility, but a divine guarantee. Even when the chosen one cannot see the hands that protect them, even when the road feels uncertain, they are never truly alone. In moments of doubt, when the path feels unclear, these divine forces send signs, a synchronicity here, an intuitive nudge there, an unexpected blessing at just the right time. To the untrained eye, these may seem like coincidences, but to the chosen one, they are sacred confirmations, reassurances that they are being divinely led. The key is awareness. The more they cultivate stillness through prayer, meditation, and intentional quiet,
the more clearly they hear these whispers of guidance. The chosen ones of today walk with the same invisible shield. Though their journey may not be through the physical wilderness, they navigate the unseen battles of doubt, fear, and spiritual resistance. And yet, even when they are weary, they are strengthened because they're being carried by forces that have been assigned to them since the beginning of time. Many people mistake divine silence for absence, but silence is not abandonment. It is the space where faith is tested and strengthened. Just as a seed grows in the darkness of the soil before it ever breaks the surface, so too does the chosen one evolve before their transformation is fully visible to the world. There is purpose in the quiet, purpose in the waiting, purpose in the unseen, preparation. Consider a moment in your own life when things seemed uncertain, when answers were not immediate, yet somehow doors opened at just the right time.